Hey guys, what's going on? Joel Tavares here. You're watching DualShockers TV on DualShockers.com. We're here in New York City checking out Prey, which is the latest title from Arcane Studios, published by Bethesda. First, I have to highlight, we're in a pretty awesome venue right now. They picked out a place that actually matches up with what you see at the beginning of the game. Now, we just had a chance to check out the first hour of Prey, and let me tell you, it's pretty exhilarating. The way they open things up in the story, it's kind of like, they kind of like welcome you. They put out the welcome mat. It's all nice and sunny, and you think you're going into it thinking like, wait a minute, this isn't the Prey that I thought it was going to be, right? Because we're used to kind of like a survival slash, space horror kind of game. But it's all like sunny and cheerful and everything. And then things take a turn, right? So that's what happens in video games. That's exactly what happens here in Prey. So it's almost like a Groundhog Day, if you will. They keep simulating the same day, so we don't even know what year the game is actually taking place on. But what we think we know is that it's in the year 2032, and it's cool because the way it opens up, you're in this, beautiful, lush city, and then again, like I mentioned earlier, things just take a turn for the worse, and you realize that the world is not as nice as you thought it was. You play as Morgan Yu, and in the beginning of the title, you can actually select whether you want to play a male version of Morgan or a female version of Morgan. For my playthrough, I went through as a female version of Morgan, but nothing really changes, just the character you're playing as. But one of the cool things that I really enjoyed about this was, obviously you get the jump scares and the normal horror, survival horror mechanics and takeaways from it. But this is Prey with an Arcane Studios spin, and what that means is that you're going to get these abilities that you can flesh out. You can upgrade your weapons. You can upgrade your inventory. It's also a game full of discovering new things and figuring out how to get from point A to point B. One thing to point out during my game time is I was given the opportunity to kind of explore this one area of the game that's earlier on, this little lobby of a space station. And what was cool about it is that you can kind of pick the way you progress throughout the story and how to access different areas. So let's say there's a door, you might find a vent to get you into that room, or you might find the key card, you might find the password that you need. So it kind of gives the player the freedom to really go looking and digging and figuring out their own way of managing their way through the game. So not only can you upgrade different items, but you can actually upgrade towards your play style and managing your skill sets and abilities to match that play style. So if you are the kind of player that goes in kind of guns blazing, you can set up more of an assault kind of class, if you will. If you want to go towards the hacking side of things and you want to dig in for more information, you can play as that class as well. You can kind of alter the game and play it as the way you want to play Prey. So I played my demo with the Xbox One controller. My colleague played on the keyboard. One thing that I did notice is that it plays very familiar to, let's say, I don't want to say Dishonored, right? Because it's arcane, that's kind of easy, but the gameplay is smooth. It feels very intuitive. It does use the same kind of like weapon slash ability wheel. So you hold Y and that'll bring up this whole wheel of elements, and that way you can kind of select, when you're selecting between your weapons and your abilities. I chose an ability that let me slow down time, so whenever I needed that, bring it up on the wheel really quick, hold up, and I was able to use that. To dig in further with the combat, one thing that they used, one element was kind of like this glue gun that kind of let you freeze up the enemy. And then what I would do is I'd freeze up the enemy, then hit him with a wrench. But it showed me that there's going to be so many different kind of combinations and style of play, going into Prey. So when you're going to the different scenarios, all of a sudden you can start creating like these different combos and tackling, rooms and areas all different kinds of ways. So another interesting thing about how to find certain areas to access is that, again, the game doesn't hold your hand, but at the same time, if you're trying to access certain areas, you might have to go, you might have to travel, across, I don't want to say a map, but across a piece of the game so you can find this key card, so you can go back and be able to open or access an area you previously didn't have access to. So that's why Prey is really all about the exploration piece of it. One really interesting aspect was that, my colleague was playing right next to me, and it's so crazy that we were playing the same exact demo, but we played it in two totally different ways. Because after I finished, she was like, wait a minute, you didn't upgrade any of your abilities? Mind you, he opened up his system, and I'm seeing all these things that he upgraded. Mine, I was able to just literally focus on the story, and I don't want to say barrel through it, but kind of just play through the way I literally wanted to play through it. We played the same exact space, but we had two totally different experiences. So this was our very first hands-on with Prey. We got a chance to check out the first hour of the game. It was a lot of fun. It's only a couple of months away, so Cinco de Mayo, get ready for some tequila if you're old enough, and some Prey, and we'll see you then.